Welcome to Chapel Youth Chat, where we want to hear from our students in Chapel Youth about topics that probably matter a lot to you as a student listening in. This is not for adults. It's not for leaders. I was just telling Jude this. It's not to hear me blab on and on. That happens enough on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. And so this is really just a space for us to learn from and to hear from students. Really, this podcast is from teenagers for teenagers. That's our entire goal. This episode, you are technically a teenager. You're 18, but Jude, you just graduated high school. I'm going to get into some of the details about your life, but Jude is a graduated senior. He just graduated from Mingo Valley Christian, which is, I think, technically in Broken Arrow, or is it in Tulsa?
It's probably, I think it's located in Broken Arrow, but
yeah. Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's what you can say, right on that dividing line. And he's going to be a freshman this fall at the Oral Roberts University. Jude is involved in a lot at school, or he was involved in a lot at school. He's a student leader with us in Chapel Youth. Jude, thank you so much for being with us. Is there anything that you would like to let the people know before we jump in about you?
I just say that pretty happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me to come on and speak today.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. And then I just also just say that this is a great place, and Titus is just a great youth pastor, and I've really enjoyed being in the youth group and getting involved this past, I think it's been 3 years. So
yeah, I think you started coming when you were a freshman.
Yeah. So been here for 3 years, enjoyed it, and I've definitely grown so much in my faith because of it, and just people being really just like genuine and helping me just like see the person that I'm becoming. And so yeah,
we'd love to hear it. I said that you were involved in some activities in high school. Do you want to talk about what you were involved in high school and what you kind of did? Because I know you were involved in athletics, but you were also involved in the arts, I think. What were some of the things that you did in high school, like this past year as a senior?
Yeah, sure. I'd say I did mostly sports during my time at Mingo, because really it was a small school. There was about 20 kids in our class. So really you can do just about anything. I played basketball for a couple years, and then I tried to mostly focus on track my senior year. And then I also helped out with the soccer team because they were running low on players. And so I just helped out there. I played all 4 years with soccer and track. And then I also did a really cool thing that I was part of was the worship team at Mingo. I really enjoyed that my senior year. So many people were just really genuine about the way that they worshiped, and I just got to see the whole school and just their willingness to worship in front of each other. I know that it's kind of hard sometimes to worship in front of your friends, but it was really cool to just lead that and be a part of that my senior year. And so I'd say that was probably one of the highlights of my year, honestly. So
love it, man. Thanks for getting us a little bit of an insight into who you are. Our topic for today, Jude, you know it. It's navigating difficult decisions, especially the decision of what to do after you graduate. Jude decided to go to college. He decided to enroll at ORU, which is a private Christian school where we live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's where I went. I graduated from there. I loved it. Jude, really my first question is, how did you know what you wanted to do next? I know there's a lot of options these days. I mean, obviously college, right into the workforce, join the military, go to trade school. How did you know you wanted to pursue just college in general?
Honestly, I really didn't know for a long time because, honestly, I probably thought of every single one that you listed. I thought of going straight into the workforce and just, doing something with my hands, because I really wanted to do something like that. But then I also thought about military because I thought maybe I can also work there and also just not really have to go to college. Because I was at beginning of high school year, I was I'm done with school. I do not want to go to 4 more years of school. I was I'm done with homework. I'm done with teachers and stuff. And I was I was pretty actually kind of really pursuing the military, actually, like going into the Navy probably.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And so I spoke with a lot of recruiters, and I was like really set like maybe on becoming a CB, which is construction battalion in the Navy. And so I really just wanted to do that and go overseas and work on building stuff like that they needed. Like they work on Air Force like bases, work on the airstrips, and then they do all sorts of stuff. And so I was pretty interested in that. And you know, the recruiters, they're always like really just like trying to get you to sign because they gotta meet.
They're on you.
They gotta meet their quota, and they don't get paid if. So I was like, and I kind of had to realize that, you know, because these guys are trying to make this military life seem pretty like special and cool and everything for these kids and stuff. So I had to like look at that and be like, you know, they may not be like coming from the greatest or most like trustworthy position. So I had to like ask a couple people, and you know, Harrison, he was on here a couple months ago, and he's going into the military. So I had a lot of conversations with him about it, and then also just my parents, seeing what they wanted, you know, and then I talked to some other family friends, and so they kind of gave me a pretty unbiased kind of view of that. And then ultimately I was kind of like, I kind of want to do this, but my parents were kind of saying like, if you really want to do this, how about you wait 4 years? Because basically what I was thinking was like, basically I can go to college, my parents are going to help out, and so that's kind of like really the deciding factor. Like my parents were going to help out with me pay for college. You know, of course they're not going to pay for everything, but
yeah, it was kind of like, hey, let's get some wisdom from close people in my life, relatives, parents, friends, mentors, and then also just evaluate the open and the closed doors is kind of what you're talking about. Like, hey, open door of getting part of my college paid for, huge. Closed doors in some other situations definitely makes sense. So then that kind of ultimately led you to choosing college because you're thinking, hey, if I really do want to do the military, I can do it in 4 years. Okay. So then when you decided it was college, what were the factors that made you finalize ORU? Because I'm sure you were looking at numerous colleges. What kind of made you finalize, hey, now that I know I want to go to college, I choose this school?
I feel like for me it was pretty hard. Well, because I really put myself out there and literally applied for like almost maybe 10 different schools.
Wow.
So like I was like applying to all these schools and stuff, and my brother, like, he only applied to one, and that's where he ended up going. And I was like, wow, I have to sift through all of these schools and all these options to see like where I'm trying to go and stuff. And really I thought like, from coming from a private school, I thought maybe I wanted to go into a public university. And so I was like thinking like, I've already been in this, and I kind of want to just go out in the world and be able to see like a different side where there's gonna be like people that are not following the Lord, and find people that are gonna be like the real world, you know. And so I was really thinking like OU or OSU or whatever, but then like found out those are stupid expensive now because I don't know why, but for some reason ORU gave me a super great scholarship, and it was just like really hard to turn that down. Once I visited, I was like, this seems like a great place. And you know, there's not always going to be perfect people in every place, you know, and they're not all going to be Christians or believe in God and stuff. But you know, definitely some of the factors are like tuition, and then also just like it sees like I can get me to where I'm trying to go.
And the Lord can speak through that. I think sometimes Christians over spiritualize some of those big decisions, where they think like, well, I just need the Lord to show me a vision. And sometimes God speaks that way to people. I knew people that God spoke to them in that way about going to college, about who they were going to marry, and all of these different things. But a lot of the times the Lord just allows us to make decisions, and he puts indicators in front of us. Like we were talking earlier, open and closed doors. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the big scholarship from ORU, pretty good indicator. You're absolutely right. You're going to go to ORU and any private Christian school, I don't care where you go, and you're going to find out, oh, there's people that go here that maybe don't love the Lord, and
Yeah.
maybe they don't really care about Christianity at all, and they don't read their Bible, and they think chapel services suck. And so there's absolutely still those opportunities to experience just people from different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. So you're kind of in this window where you're preparing for college. You got about, less than 2 months now before you're going to college. How have you been preparing, and how would somebody properly prepare for college? I mean, you're going to be leaving the home, living somewhere else full time.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I haven't like fully lived through it yet. But I mean, I've been getting tons of emails from them about all this kind of stuff that I need to do, and so you got to make sure that you're getting all that stuff done, and just really kind of looking at what you need to do. It's like, so for me, I've really been this past couple months. I haven't really been worrying about that too much. I probably should. But I think, like, part of the way that I've been doing this past couple month, like, or month or two, is I've been working and trying to get some money so that I can be kind of transition into college and just, like, have that. And then I'd say, like, also, like, making decisions about, like, other things about, what you're going to do, like, with your stuff at home, and so I just say, like, preparing and making sure that you have everything you need, and just really, like, seeking the Lord and what, is to come next, because you're not really going to know until it comes. And so you just be, like, preparing for that, as, like, you prepare to go somewhere, like a new place, like on a missions trip. You prepare and you seek the Lord and make sure, you're asking Him to reveal His plans for you, and also to make paths straight, to open doors and to close doors, to, maybe just make some things clear, and just asking Him and seeking Him about, what He can do, and to make clarity of things. And
it's
just,
good.
Yeah.
I sense that you have, like, just a pretty firm trust in the Lord. Not that you're lackadaisical in your approach to college, but, you just trust, hey, things are going to work out and they're going to get done. And like you said, like, you're working hard to make money for college. I think that's a big thing sometimes people overlook. I knew a lot of people who were enrolled in college and they were taking out loans and they weren't working. And so I think for sure, if there's any amount that you have to pay every year for college, you should be working automatically.
Yeah.
Especially if you're somebody like me who had to take out loans every single year. I mean, that is a no-brainer to be working, and you're already on top of that. The summer between high school graduation and college, and then maybe even during the year, and the summers in between after that. And then super important. Okay. This whole process, I'm sure, has caused a level of stress to some extent. How have you dealt with that in this time period? Choosing the right college. Well, first, choosing to go to college, then choosing to ORU, then kind of preparing. How have you managed and kind of just walked through some of those stressful moments these last 6 months?
I'd say for me, probably, I'd say that I've really just been, every night just, like, sitting down with the Lord.
Good.
And just, like, asking Him, like, kind of what you want to make out of this, because honestly, the last couple months of, like, high school were super stressful, of, like, trying to get all this stuff in for school, and the teachers were just, like, really had a lot of
on you.
They were really, like, tough the last couple months. Everyone says, like, senior year is so easy, but, like, for me, honestly, the last couple months were just, like, super stressful. And it was kind of, like, hard, like, balancing, like, college decisions on top of that. And so it was kind of just like my quiet time every night, just kind of asking God, what do you want to make out of this, and what can I do better to relieve some of this stress?
That's good, man. Put it in the Lord's hands. Surrender it to Him. It's so good. So I don't know, actually. You might have told me, but I've probably forgotten it. If you've selected a degree program, something to study, have you?
Yeah.
What are you studying?
I'll be studying mechanical engineering.
Okay, so then how did you come to that conclusion?
It took a long time, honestly, because that was probably more than anything what I was kind of praying about a lot, because I know college, like which college to go to is kind of a big deal. But I feel like for me is like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life,
Sure.
I feel like for me that was more of a bigger decision than what college am I going to go to.
Do you feel like somebody who is deciding on a major that they are planning to decide what they're going to do with the rest of their life? Do you think there's wiggle room there? What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's definitely wiggle room because for me, I picked mechanical engineering because I had some people like say like this could probably get you to where you want to be, but also I was still, I mean, even now I'm still kind of deciding really what I want to do.
Right.
And so I think for college also what I've heard is like you kind of know like within the first year if you are going to stick it out.
Yeah.
And so like for me, I'm like not stressing too much about it right now, but I just think like when I get into that and I'm in classes daily seeing what it's like, I might be able like actually this is not for me and God has another plan for me in a different major.
Yeah.
So I think like for the first year, you don't really need to stress about it a ton because like you can figure out what you do like and what you don't like.
Right.
And so if you figure out you don't like the program that you're in, go ahead and switch. There's nothing holding you back.
Right. And even, you graduate with a mechanical engineering degree. You might not do that the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it certainly sets you up for success. It certainly sets you up for a tangible job that requires education that you can always at least fall back on or do forever. I think either or, absolutely. How did you then align kind of the God-given talents that you have with your major? Do you feel like the things that God's gifted you with align with your major? Do you feel like they're kind of two separate entities? Did some of those talents and those giftings encourage you to pursue the major that you chose? Talk me through that a little bit, if that's clear enough.
Yeah, I'd say like for like my giftings, like I'd say like I really like to just be kind of a little bit more outdoors, kind of working with my hands, and so like I kind of like talk to people and like engineers, like they don't always do a lot of the hands-on work, but like they can. Mm-hmm. And so I was like really looking into kind of two majors that are kind of like that, and just being able to work with my hands and keep myself focused and I didn't really want to have a desk job.
Right.
And so like I think I saw like God kind of use my, I guess, inability to sit still and focus on like a computer all day to like show me that you're probably not gonna do that for the rest of your life and you're gonna hate your job if you.
Right.
So I kind of like narrowed that down and then like saw like, okay, I can either do this, like have a desk job, and which is not really, probably not what God has gifted me, or I can choose a major that aligns with what God has gifted me with.
Yeah.
I mean, but also like I've definitely considered other things, because some people like pointed out like to me like that I'm not really like shy in front of crowds or public speaking or anything, and so people were like, man, you'd be a great youth pastor. You'd be a great pastor or something. And I was like, I mean, that is a gift that God has given me, but I don't know if that's exactly what I want to do at this point.
Right.
You know, right now it's like leading me towards this direction.
Right.
But, you know, you could have a story like yours too, where you're a teacher and
Yep.
then God calls you out of that and he's like, you know what? I'm going to use this gift for my glory, and I'm going to use that to make myself known to the people
Right.
around you. And, you know, whatever God wants from you is, you know, ultimately what you should do.
Yeah.
And so right now it seems like God is making it clear that my gifting of using my hands is a little bit more what he's kind of calling me to at this moment.
Yeah, because God will take us through seasons, you know. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned my own personal walk, and it's true. You could study something, and then God uses that for a very specific reason, and then he takes your experience, and then he takes some of the giftings that he's given you that maybe weren't exercised through that major, through that degree program, and through that career, and then he'll use new ones, or he'll build upon what you've already started doing, which is really good. That's awesome, Jude. Well, yeah, you've given us a lot to think about, given some good wisdom. So appreciate you for coming in and chatting with us a little bit about college decisions. If you guys don't know Jude and you're watching this and you go to Chapel Youth on Wednesdays, come and say, hey, not very much more time before he's on the road to college and not with us anymore. So, yeah, really enjoyed having you on, Jude. Enjoy having you in Chapel Youth. It's been awesome these last few years.
Yeah,
you and your family is incredible. So we really appreciate you having a good role and a good influence in our youth group. But we invite you guys, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, to like it, comment if there's a topic you'd like us to cover in the near future, subscribe, and we will see y'all soon. Peace out. Nice, dude.